Welcome back to the Sports Perspective TV viewers and subscribers. As always, thank you for tuning in. And if this is your first time coming across the channel, or you're a returning viewer but haven't subscribed as yet, definitely hit that subscribe button. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the first T20 between West Indies and South Africa. West Indies came out victorious, so we're going to be reviewing the match. There were a few brilliant performances, both with the bat and especially with the ball as well. So we're going to be talking about that. So just stick around to the end of the video, while we discuss all of these topics, right? So getting straight into it. West Indies, the first match was played today at Sabina Park between West Indies and South Africa. And it was a brilliant performance by the West Indies, a very comprehensive victory in the end, with some very good performances, right? I must say, surprisingly, the bowling showed up and showed out today, right? A lot of good bowling performances. So scores in the match, West Indies batting first, they were able to get to 175 for 8 of their 20 overs, right? With Captain Brandon King leading from the front with the bat. So I'm going to be looking at the scorecard. So Brandon King opening the innings, got the West Indies off to a very fast start, scoring 79 of 45 balls, hitting boundaries all over the place, right? I think the West Indies, after 10 overs, they were already over 100 runs. So a brilliant innings by Brandon King, a captain's knock, leading from the front, which is exactly what the team needs, right? So Brandon King got 79 from 45. Charles only scored 1. And then Kyle Mayers, he came in and batted well also, scoring 34 from 25. And in that partnership with him and Brandon King, it was very good. At one point, it looked like West Indies were going to get well over 200 runs when Brandon King and Kyle Mayers were batting. But as you know, it's the flow of the game with T20 cricket. Once you lose wickets, and then there's all possibility that the score will be slowed, and that is what happened to the West Indies in this innings. But a good innings by Kyle Mayers and Brandon King. Also batting well. Roston Chase. He scored 32 of 30. And those were really the main contributors for the West Indies in their innings of 178. As you can tell from looking at the remainder of the scorecard, the next top scorer was extras with 19. So there are 19 extras, but Andre Fletcher only scored 1, Fabian Allen only scored 1, Akil Hussain scored 2, Motie Forde 5, and Gudakesh Motie, he scored 1, right? So it was really the top order that contributed to that total of 175 for 8 for the West Indies, with Brandon King leading from the front with a brilliant 79 from 45, right? So Brandon King is definitely back fit and in good form heading into the World Cup, and definitely hoping that he can continue this form for the remainder of this series and also into the World Cup as well, right? South Africa, in reply, they were only able to score 147. So they got to 147 all out. So West Indies did bowl them out, which that's why I said it was a bit surprising, because as you know, we said the bowling is the weakest point of this team, but the bowling showed up today and they bowled really well, right? Leading the way with the ball for the West Indies was Gudakesh Motie. So he bowled his full complement of 4 overs, taking 3 for 25 from his 4 overs. Also, Motie Forde, he bowled 2.5 overs and took 3 for 27. So Gudakesh Motie and Motie Forde were the pick of the bowlers for the West Indies. They took the most wickets, but it was a good overall bowling performance by all the bowlers that bowled. Obed Mckoy, he bowled 3 overs and took 2 for 15. Shamar Joseph. So Shamar Joseph made his debut in T20s for the West Indies, and he bowled well also. He took 1 for 20 from his 3 overs. And Roston Chase bowled very good as well, taking 1 for 12 from his 2 overs. And Fabian Allen and Akil Hussein, they didn't take any wickets, but Fabian Allen did bowl his full complement of overs. Surprisingly, Akil Hussein only bowled 1 over, but the depth of the bowling in this match. So in all, Brandon King used 7 bowlers in this match, right? And when you look at the lineup, I think it was definitely deliberately done by Darren Sammy to include this many bowlers in the lineup, and also because they're still trying to decide who the reserves are going to be for this team. So I think quite a few players that were included in this match was for that specific reason. Some of the players, so there was no Jason Holder or Romario Shepherd in this match, and I think that was deliberately done to give opportunities to the other bowlers or the other players who are potentially who they are looking at as potentially being reserves in the World Cup squad, so they can get an opportunity to play against South Africa. But it was a brilliant bowling performance. Motie Forde started at the top, taking wicket of Quinton de Kock in the first over, and they just continued to take wickets at regular intervals. Roston Chase also in his first over he took a wicket in his first over as well. Getting the West Indies off to a brilliant start with the ball. Because even though they scored 175, like I mentioned earlier, at one point in the innings, it definitely looked and seemed as if we were going to score way over 200, but South Africa came back and bowled well to restrict the West Indies to 175, and that was also in part to it was good bowling by South Africa to do that, but it was also poor batting on the West Indies part as far as it relates to the batsmen that were not in the top 4, right? But it wasn't surprising to me. Because once you looked at the lineup, you realized it was a bowling heavy lineup and not so much a batting heavy lineup. So it wasn't surprising to me when I saw them losing wickets after Brandon King and Kyle Mayers got out. But Roston Chase stood there and batted. Would have definitely liked if Chase scored at a faster pace, but his innings was very valuable for the team in the end. So he would shout out to Chase, and Chase is definitely looking like a sure pick in this West Indies team now going forward. But yeah, it was a brilliant all-round game by the West Indies. Like I said, very surprising to me how well the bowling did. Because we all said the bowling is the weakest point of this West Indies team. So definitely glad to see them, performing well against a top quality opponent. Obviously, the South African team, they don't have all their best batsmen. Also the West Indies, most of our best batsmen are missing as well. But nevertheless, it's a very good quality South African batting lineup, and the bowlers showed up and they bowled well. So a huge shout out to the bowling lineup that was used. And majority of these bowlers that are in the lineup and the bowlers that did well, they are going to be a part of the T20 squad. So Gudakesh Motie, Motie Forde won't, not sure if Motie Forde will be named as a reserve, but Gudakesh Motie bowled well. He was the pick of the bowlers. He's in the T20 World Cup squad. Shamar Joseph also bowled well. Roston Chase bowled well. So it's definitely a good look for the West Indies, and hopefully they can finish the series as strong as they started the series as well. So that's all I have for you in this video, viewers and subscribers. As always, thank you for tuning in. Definitely let me know what you think about this match and about the performances of the team, right? Of the players in this match. Again, Brandon King leading the way with a brilliant 79 45 balls, supported well by Kyle Mayers with 34 from 25, and Roston Chase as well as far as the batting goes. And Gudakesh Motie, Motie Forde, Shamar Joseph, Roston Chase, all the bowlers, they bowled well, to bowl South Africa out for 147. So a brilliant performance by West Indies to start the series. Definitely share your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about the team? And do remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.